What's worse than some entitled people? Today we're gonna explore r/entitled parents again. You guys know the deal. The subreddit home to some of the worst parenting ever. Yeah, let's see what's been popping lately. And we just have it on best for today, and we're just gonna read what's on the feed. All right, first one up. The title says, "My grandma is surprised that I don't want her attention after ignoring me for most of my life." To give a little context on the kind of relationship me and my grandmother had, for 20 years, she spelled my name wrong. Oh, what? 20 years? That's insane. What is your name to be spelled wrong? I mean, my name's tough to spell too, but that's crazy. Every card that was sent had my name that was spelled wrong. On my 21st birthday, she sent me a card that had my name spelled correct. And I, along with my mother, were so shocked that we were wondering if she had actually sent the card. Damn, that is crazy. Growing up, my grandma was really close to one of my cousins. I'll call him Mike. I just assumed it was because she and Mike lived close, while I only got to see my grandma on holidays and family vacations, so like once or twice a year. That's still insane though. Like that's your grandkid, you know? So the moment that made me things click for me was when I was around 12 and we were taking a family vacation. We decided to go to a museum specifically for a Native American exhibit. As my grandma said, we are Native American. Literally, there's no evidence of that. But once we got to the gift shop, my grandmother had brought herself and Mike matching necklaces. I remember feeling so bad and left out. So I asked her if I could get something to match her as well. And to summarize what she said, "Oh, well, it's just a thing with Mike and I." Dude, your grandma sounds like a mean girl. Like literally mean girls. Like sounds like a bully, dude. What the hell? That's so fucked up. I'm sorry. If you guys have had like bad parents or entitled parents, I'm so sorry. I hope that, you know, it's given you guys a better perspective on life in terms of like how you guys can parent in the future if you guys want kids and stuff. Yeah, this is so shitty. It was in that moment that in my head I was like, "Oh, so you're just gonna wait." She said, "We just really bond over our Native American heritage. You don't know that much about it, so it wouldn't make sense to buy you something." Okay, what an asshole. It was at that moment that in my head, I was like, "Oh, so you're just never going to acknowledge me and my feelings." From then on, I never went out of my way to vie for her attention. Cut to several years later, and I'm an adult, and my grandmother is now 79. My aunt had planned all girls cruise for our family. Okay, so OP is a girl. Cut to the entire time, my grandma kept wanting to join me for things and kept asking me about my plans. I found it all very weird because she literally has shown no interest in my life prior, and she was shocked when I didn't want to do anything with her one-on-one. I talked to my mom about this, and she was like, "Yep, that's her. Her love goes to the highest bidder. I think now that she's really old, she's worried about the lack of connections she's made with her family and doesn't want to be unalived alone." I kind of felt indifferent about the whole thing, sort of like it sucks to suck mentality, which I do feel guilty about because she is my grandmother, but relationships are a two-way street, and my grandmother made no effort and seemed to go out of her way to make me feel bad. I'm not going to ignore her, but I'm not going to out of my way to placate her because she is now suddenly feeling guilty, especially if that guilt comes from a place of self-interest. Edit. I just wanted to add some positivity to this mess. I have been building a relationship with my grandmother from my dad's side. The only reason we weren't close is because my parents divorced when I was a baby, and my grandmother lived on the other side of the country, so it was hard for us to communicate and see one another. Now, I talk to her on the regular, and she is very supportive and sweet. She always sends messages like, "I love you," and remember to always call your grandmother if you need anything. Oh, so your dad's side seems cool. And it's very clear she doesn't have favorites. She loves all of us, her grandbabies, equally, even the ones not related by blood. See, that is proof of a great grandmother. Yeah, your grandmother on your mom's side is a raging mean person. That is crazy. Someone in the comments says, "I also had a relationship like this with my grandmother. She was a delight to her favorites and cold to the distant ones she was less fond of. I was a favorite, but then as a teen, I had much younger cousins who didn't see through her. So I was dropped and forgotten about." Damn, what the fuck's wrong with people? Like, I went to college and did very well and secured some great experiences in a career, and then she wanted my time again. When I was about 26 or so, I wrote her a letter. I told her that I was not interested in humoring her for her attention. Hell yeah, dude. Way to stand up for yourself. And that she was a cruel woman masquerading as pious. But she was a devout Catholic. I told her that to me, our relationship was over and she had no need to entertain the idea of access to my life. We didn't talk again. She passed maybe 10 years ago. And while I was sad for my father and his siblings, I held no real emotional attachment to her. The only people that had access to me and my heart are the ones that I allowed to have it. Yeah, that's how it should be. Like, I was never really, well, story time, I guess. I didn't know any of my grandparents but one, because all of them passed before I was born. The only one I knew wasn't that close to me. Like, I met her twice, and she was okay. I just know her history, and she wasn't that great of a person from what I've heard. So, I mean, she was cool to me, but like cool, like not like tight, you know? So, I mean, I never really had that relationship with grandparents. I hope everyone that's watching this has a great relationship with grandparents. But yeah, also, hey, if you're new to this channel and you enjoy this video, make sure you guys hit the subscribe and the notification bell. Help me towards my goal of 20K. We are like growing so fast. Thank you so much, everyone. We do videos every single day on this channel, and I do it for you guys. Also hit the like and comment section. Helps the algorithm. Oh, and if you want extended content every day, Patreon, first link in the description. All right. Sorry for that shameless plug. This one sounds funny. I can't read this on here. I'm gonna have to save this for Patreon, but it says girlfriend's neighbor borrowed the wrong DVD for her kids. Oh God. Can only imagine. All right, this next one reads, my aunt asked me if to give my graduation money to her son. Family helps family. Get the F out of here. Your money gifted to you in any scenario. If something is gifted to you, it is now yours, okay? I don't like this assumption. And I have a story about this. I had a, sorry for the interruption. Pardon the interruption. I had a girlfriend that I at the time was very in love with, and you know, my sister bought her a very nice purse, like a very nice one. And you know, even after the relationship ended, some could say you should have taken that purse back. And yeah, like thinking back at it, I could have, but like you gifted it to someone, man. It's theirs now. Like I don't know, it's just like a weird thing. Anyways, the story reads, this just happened last year. I graduated from UNLV, or, you know, University of Las Vegas. Congratulations, OP. Nothing huge, just a small backyard thing with some friends and family. Okay, so like having the graduation party. I got like $500 total in cards from people. That's great. Some cash, a couple gift cards, super appreciated. Next day, my aunt, my mom's sister, calls me and goes, so, you gonna share some of that money with Jordan? What? Jordan's her 20-year-old son who dropped out of college last year. Oh, hell no. I would have responded, well, maybe he should go graduate, and hasn't really been doing much. I laughed at first and thought she was messing around, but she was dead ass serious. She said something like, you know, he's been struggling and you're lucky to graduate. It'd be nice if you pass some of that along. Well, it'd be nice if he, you know, went to school. I told her no, it was a gift for me. She got weird and said that I was acting brand new and hung up. Brand new? That's crazy. Then told my mom I was selfish. My mom just said that maybe your kid should graduate first. Well, I love your mom. The whole thing was so weird. Lol, haven't heard from Jordan either. It's not Jordan's fault. I don't think Jordan was involved in this unless he asked. But your aunt can share her money with him if she feels that way. Yeah, dead ass. You're not responsible for for helping a 20-year-old who's more than capable of getting a job. Yeah, he's 20 whole years old, dude. He can vote. Like, for society. Also, shout out to your mom for her response. Yeah, that was a great response. All right, this one sounds interesting because it's Pokemon involved. I love me some Pokemon stories. Had my turn at, you're too old for that. Give it to my kid today. Oh, I hate when people do that. Like, yeah, when are we gonna understand? I think hopefully over time with my generation and the next, there's no such thing as you're too old for that, except for things that are like, actually, you're too old for that. Like, when it comes to interests and stuff, you can be any age. Now, can you think that somebody's weird for liking something? Yeah, but it has nothing to do with an age thing. It's you could be weird for being obsessed with anything to anyone's eyes, right? So it's just goofy to me because like to this day, I still watch cartoons. I still watch anime. I'm 27 years old. I love the regular show. That's like my comfort show I put on whenever I'm eating and I don't have an anime that I'm watching. Also, anime is still awesome. Kiddish ones I have grown lesser to, like My Hero Academia and stuff, but you know, to each their own. I'm going on a tangent at this point. I also still love video games and shit. Like, what's wrong with that? All right, so this person says, so I was doing some grocery shopping at my local Aldi's today. Shout out Aldi's. I love Aldi's. And I was wearing my hat that has Pokemon patches on it. Oh, that sounds cool. It just a black cap with 3 patches, a Psyduck, Magikarp, and Gyarados. Weird mix having Psyduck and like Magikarp and Gyarados. I get, but Psyduck mix in there is kind of funny. Got to the checkout and there was this woman with her 2 kids. The kids were misbehaving and she was yelling at them. That's when the boy saw my hat and said, "Mom, I like that hat." Oh God. Next thing I know, the woman is telling me to give my hat to her kid because I'm too old for it. I would have been like, bruh, she can't be serious. Like, what are you talking about? You're just entitled to my hat just because I'm now old? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? She even tried to reach over and yank it out of my head. Dude, I would have been so pissed. I told her to go away and I didn't have to give her my hat to her or a kid or her kid and stuffed it up under the jumper I was wearing. Checked out and left. Anywho, it's not much, but there's an encounter with an entitled parent. Yeah, what is wrong with some people, man? No one should touch other people's... No one is entitled to anyone's belongings, period. That's that. It's easy as that. I would love it if someone would have yelled out, "This woman is attempting to mug me. Call the cops. I need help. She is trying to rob me." That would have been funny. I think that might slap the Karen out of that woman real quick. If it suddenly drawn her up on her that what she was doing was not only rude, but a felony. Yeah, that's literally stealing. What? This one sounds insane. Okay, so this is an updated story. We're going to read both stories because what? Okay, first story. This was 5 years ago, and then there's an update. It says, entitled mom is forcing me to marry my cousin to make her a U.S. citizen. That is crazy. Green card marriages. Yeah, I know this is a thing. How do I know it's a thing? Don't ask me. I just know it's a thing. I was going to post this on my main account before I came to my senses. This isn't really a throwaway, but more of an account I'll use to share stories for my entitled mom, family/mom. Before you call BS and start joking around saying Sweet Home Alabama, one, believe me, I wish this was BS, but unfortunately it's an actual situation I'm facing. No, this is real. This is like a lot of foreign people do this so that they can bring family members over. It's a real thing. I'm foreign, so I know this. Like I was born in Vietnam. I know this is like shit that people do. 2, we are Dominican. Don't know if that changes anything. 3, I hate that song. Sweet Home Alabama. That's so funny. All right, I'm 20 and my male cousin is 19 and female. Oh, I'm 20 and male. My cousin is 19 and female. Spanish was my first language. I have a third cousin in the Dominican Republic. They were not well off in that country, and my mom and her mom is a little neglectful. At this point, it feels like my mom cares more about her than me. But whatever, she deserves it. She's a good kid who does well in school and wants to go to the U.S. for nursing school. She can't, however, because she's not a legal citizen. My mom decided that it would be the best plan for me to go to the DR in June or July and marry my third cousin to make her legal. She brought this up a few years ago, but I thought she was joking. Apparently, she wasn't, because recently she brought up this plan again. And she was actually talking about how she already booked flights from the DR and shit. Okay, first off, that is crazy. To not consult you and do that is insane. It is your decision if you want to help your cousin out. I mean, this is already a kind of a creepy thing to do, like to marry your cousin. Obviously, they wouldn't like do anything. It would just be for that legality, but still, every human being is entitled to their own decisions in this world, with an exception of like really, like if you can't think for yourself, okay? Like in that case, that's different. But most normal functioning adults, all normal functioning adults are entitled to their own decisions and their own life. No parent should tell their kid what they should do. They can advise them, but they can't force them to do something, or they shouldn't be able to. Anyways, what the F? I'm in a relationship already. Oh, that makes it even worse. You're already in a relationship and she did this. I'm in a relationship already, and my mom literally told me that she doesn't give an F about my personal life. All she cares about is me going to the DR and forcing me to marry my cousin. Thankfully, I talked about the plan with my significant other, and they were supportive. Due to the pandemic and not knowing if this situation is going to get worse, I think it's safe to say we're not flying out there, but my mom, for some reason, still acts like we're still going. Basically, I marry her and stayed married for a year, and then we divorced amicably. My mom pockets any money that's made from this, if any. I think there's a rule where it has to be a certain amount of time. It's not just a year, but I don't know. When I tried to downright refuse this was met with screaming, angry, physical anger, and threatens to kick me out. I am afraid to go to any family members because I don't know what's going to happen. Let's read the comments before we move on to the update. You would be committing a felony. Yeah, it's illegal to do that. Green card marriages are illegal. And do not do and tell your mother to back off, or you will turn her in for attempts of immigration fraud. Well, that won't work. She will have to wait 3 years before becoming legal. And there are also, yeah, that's what I thought. It wasn't just 1 year. Family sponsorship form is blah, blah, blah. Green card application form. The practice of obtaining residency through marriage is illegal in the U.S. if the marriage itself is fraudulent. Yeah, exactly. I know people who do this. I'm not going to say names, and that's fine. Like, I know people who are paid to do this, but like, it is illegal. You got to know that, buddy. All right. Anyways, let's read the update. All right, so 5 years later, which is 2 days ago, we got an update. Oh, how gracious are we to get this? I gotta say, it's a little surreal. Just watching YouTube and seeing my old post come up on one of these Reddit YouTube videos. Yes, it was that guy. It's been 5 years since I made that post, and honestly, I was never planning on updating. Oh, it's funny because we're also reading this on YouTube. And I forgot about that account until I saw this YouTube video, and I'm really sympathizing with the writer. ... until I realized that I am the writer. That's awesome. The original post is still up on my profile, but to give a quick summary, my mom had always been abusive, both physically and mentally, and has always been controlling my life, despite me becoming an adult. Things, blah, 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 blah. Let's move to, here we go. If I wrote in detail what has happened in the last years, then this post would be 1 million characters long. So here's a TLDR. Broke up with my girlfriend I was dating in the first story, and after I found out that she was cheating on me. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. That sucks. I never ended up marrying my cousins because I avoided renewing my passport, and my mom found another person in the U.S. that she was going to try to force me to marry, and that fell off as well. That is so weird. I ended up summoning the strength to start standing up to my mom, and she kicked me out of the house in the summer of 2021. You know what? Good for you for standing up for yourself, though. I ended up moving in with another family member, and I turned to, ooh, this is not taking a good turn so far. I turned to drugs and alcohol to help me cope, and I OD'd in, oh my God, December of 2021 at age 21, but thankfully I survived. Holy shit, dude. What a turn. Man, I'm sorry. Me and my mom reconciled in January 2022 because of her entering counseling and my OD. I ended up moving back in my mother so that she could care for me while I got better, and she ended up having another freak out and kicked me out again in August of 2022. Yeah, it sounds like your mom is not a stable person to be around, and it's probably causing you some of this mental, state. I was not expecting to read this turn. And I ended up having to move to another state with a Discord friend because my mom physically attacked me. God, that's crazy. I left all my possessions and everything I know and loved behind because I was utterly miserable in this new state. No money to my name, and I went days without eating, and this is censored. I'm going to uncensor it, but I'm going to put it over here. Oh, okay, yeah, and he even did some things that sad people do and attempt to themselves. But he survived and started working my ass off and found a job. Oh, congrats. Hell yeah. It just sounds like OP, man. I'm sorry, man. It sounds like you went through a lot. You had a bad mom, like an entitled mother. You got cheated on, like a lot, and I'm not saying that those are reasons or should give reason or an excuse for people to do drugs or anything like that, but it can be a reason is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, I then found another unhealthy vice and started my hookup phase in this new state and ended up dating someone who turned out to be the second most toxic woman imaginable. And I'm also a dumbass who doesn't seem to be able to learn their lesson. I moved in with my mother yet again in January 2023. All right. At this point, this one I can't sympathize for because at this point, this is like the third time, bro. But the other stuff I can't sympathize. Like, I get that. That sucks. Running into toxic women, that's just an unfortunate circumstance. But this time, things have actually seemed to go fairly normal for a while. Since my mom realized that she could use me for money and that I'd let her because I was a sucker, I started my career and started making money. Broke up with my now long distance girlfriend, and after the breakup, she accused me of cheating on her. But turns out she's the one that was cheating. Ugh, dude, you sound like you have the worst luck with girls. I swore off relationships for good and got close to a girl that also swore off relationships for good, quote unquote. And yep, we ended up dating, lol. We celebrated our 1-year anniversary, and after yet another freak out by my mom in January of 2025 because my girlfriend gave me the reality check to stop letting her use me, me and my girlfriend made plans to move in together as of April of 2025. Me and her are now living together, and I'm 800 miles away from my mother and barely call her. Okay, so far, it sounds like things are going better. I hope that this girl doesn't do anything vile. Me and my mom are cordial because I still want contact with my little sister, but I only call my mom on my terms, and anytime she starts acting entitled to me, I cut her off and threaten to go no contact. I'm now living a peaceful life that I never thought I'd be able to live before. I'm living with the love of my life, and I'm planning on proposing to her soon. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, thank God. All right, I was about to say, if this is going to be just straight downhill, that would have been a really sad read, but hell yeah. I'm being flown all over the country thanks to my career, and my partner's family have basically taken me in as one of their own. Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. I love when you hear somebody who's just had a terrible upbringing with family, but then they find like a partner's where their family is like treating them like their own. I want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who read and replied to my old posts. You guys truly helped me out, put a lot of things to perspective, and it helped me realize what a messed up situation I was living in. This is the one of the like things that is good about Reddit. Like people, some things can be very bad, but some things can be good. And, you know, I'm glad that this person was able to read these things and it helped them, and also watch the YouTube video. I think crazy to give this update too. I have tons of stories from events that has happened over the years and stories from my career as a touring musician. Oh, that's awesome. So let me know if you guys want to hear some. Feels kind of therapeutic writing these. Thank you guys. I would love to hear those. That sounds awesome. The best ending. The middle though. Yeah, for real. That was like a really toss and turn. That felt a lot like A Beautiful Life. Like if you guys have ever seen that with Timothy Chalamet. Like it was like, oh, we thought we were going to go better. Nope, tragedy. And then ending is actually decent or pretty good. Actually, I take that back. The ending was really good. Happy ever after for him. Hopefully, at least. We'll see. I'm hoping the best. As said YouTuber said, false marriages. I wonder who the YouTuber was. Wasn't me. But I'm so happy for you. Yeah, I'm happy as well. Congrats on OP. I hope that you guys don't encounter entitled parents. They are the worst. And if you do have one, I hope you get in a better situation. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you guys are a Patreon member, I'll see you guys there. Otherwise,